1-800 call FBI. Here is the RV, and we're working to get more information. But Bob, we were talking about this before. It looks like maybe just the driver there in that picture. From what
you
can
can't
tell.
see through the windshield real well, but what you can see is there's definitely a person in the driver's seat, and it does not appear that anyone else is in there. We can't see in the back of the RV, so we don't know if anyone was possibly in there. But this is the RV believed to be carrying the explosives on 2nd Avenue about 1:30 this morning that was parked at 166 2nd Avenue in front of the AT&T building and detonated at 6:30 this morning.
And as we were looking through some of the pictures of the devastation too, a lot of other businesses and establishments are affected by this as well, like Rocket Fizz, Second and Church. Their entire front facade is blown out. So you're going to have a lot of business owners who have already struggled during the year of 2020, now trying to figure out how do they navigate as they move through not only this investigation, but now repairing and then reopening.
And the question will be, when will investigators return the buildings, allow the owners to enter? When will their investigation end? It's going to be days, probably. I would guess Monday at the earliest, before they have secured the facility and maybe done as much evidence picking up as they can.
All right. We also have a public prayer that is going on at the public staging scene. You can see it here as they are coming to bless this city on a day where we have had already some tragedy, which we know could have been worse, but already in this year that is so much going on. Let's see what they have to say here.
Stacy, this is my wife, Shelly Stacy. We're here from Poplar, Missouri, and this Robert Leatherwood, David Leatherwood from Tampa and St. Pete, Florida. Okay, and unfortunately, we're here in Nashville, Tennessee to spend Christmas due to family situations. And we just want to say a short prayer for the folks and families in Nashville, Tennessee. And here we go. Lord and Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your many blessings. And unfortunately, please give the people in Nashville, just give them guidance and strength. And God, just give everybody a direction and find out who did this terrible thing. And Lord, just keep everybody in your prayers, in your hand, and thank you for all things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Okay, thank you guys. We're so sorry for your town.
When tragedy hits, it strikes the heart of America, and it can be a confusing time. And right now,
yeah, sorry guys, I'm not live downtown. They're not letting anybody go downtown, so I'm stuck here at my house trying to give y'all a little bit of information on here. I know this is weird. A lot of people don't do live broadcasts like this, but it was something new I wanted to try to see, since I can't be down there in person.
And we woke up to the news. We were absolutely shocked and confused. We didn't really understand what was going on. And then within an hour, all of our service was out, and we realized, all we had was each other. We didn't really know what was going on, and so we came down here to figure out answers, because we were just kind of confused and scared, and we're just like, we don't know what's going on. And also to send a message to our family and friends and loved
thanks,
ones
ECW.
We're safe, that we are safe, and we hope that the people that were involved in the tragedy are safe as well.
Yes. And how do you spell your name?
My name is David Leatherwood. It's leather and then wood.
That's a perspective too, Bob, when you think about families wanting to know if their loved ones are okay with service down.
Yeah, just some visitors to the Middle Tennessee area wanting to say we are thinking about you. A nice gesture on their part as they celebrate their Christmas, unable to talk to their folks here as they're visiting from out of state. A nice gesture.
We actually have some video as well out of Mount Juliet, so we know that that's more than 20 plus miles away from where this blast occurred, but it was felt and heard. So let's get this new video for you.
This is Mount Juliet. It's 30 minutes from where downtown Nashville is, guys.
So I thought it was incredible. My father lives close to Vanderbilt, and he said that he heard it and felt a little bit of vibration, and I thought, wow, okay, but all the way in Mount Juliet, that's a testament to what you were saying about the velocity of this blast.
Yeah, this is the middle of 2nd Avenue, really, where this explosion site is, and it shook windows at the courthouse. It moved all the way down to Broadway. The buildings down there all shook. It knocked out and sucked in windows on 1st Avenue. It could be felt across the river. We're getting reports in people's alarms were set off when the explosion went off. So it was a massive explosion and that caused all kinds of damage and had just a massive impact.
I also question the gunfire leading up to the explosion.
Yeah, guys, if you listen to this, if they show the video, it's weird. It sounds like a .30 caliber.
Warning of the explosion, but to have that on and off gunfire. What was the purpose of it? Was it
If
to
they
draw
show
first
this.
responders to the area and then tell them to go away? So many questions, but if we have that sound of that
Okay, guys,
gentleman
here's the sound.
barricading
Listen to this
himself
closely.
in his apartment complex because he heard these gunshots on Christmas morning, I think that's really
Just
powerful.
listen.
If you're just tuning in, it's just indicative of what led up to this explosion, what the people here in Nashville, right there in downtown, were dealing with on that early morning hours.
As soon as they load it up.
On 2nd Avenue, but we live on the interior of the building, and I almost couldn't believe that it would have been gunshots that I heard, because we don't live near either 2nd Avenue or 1st Avenue. We're in the middle of the building. So I was perplexed, but thought, maybe it was somebody slamming doors.
This is not the video that I was talking about, but maybe they'll show it while I'm live.
A round of guns fired, this time more gunfire and louder. And we got scared and got up out of bed and barricaded our door to our apartment. And then about 15 minutes later, again, there was a whole nother round of gunshots. This time, it was way, way more gunshots. The first time, it was 3 shots. The second time, it was 5 shots. The third round, it was probably about 10 or 15 shots. And we were petrified. We were sitting in our apartment with the door barricaded, with the lights out, not talking because we were scared to make noise. And then about 20 to 30 minutes later, the cops somehow had gotten into the building and started pounding on the doors, alerting all us residents to get out of the building and to leave on the back side, 1st Avenue, not to go near 2nd Avenue. And they didn't tell us what it was. Our car was parked over on the other side of the gulch, and we went over and got our car and was sitting in our car not knowing what to do. And at that point, we had been sitting in the car for about 10 minutes, and then our whole car shook, and it felt like a bomb went off, and we looked over towards 2nd Avenue from the gulch, and like we saw like flames and like sparks, and like you could see not only the smoke, but you could see like the explosion sparks fly up into the air, probably 300 feet into the air. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Tariff blockaded his front door to the apartment, because it wasn't just like it was a round of shots and it was done. It was a round, and then minutes go by, another round, and you're like, did we really just hear that? And then 15 minutes later, and another round again. And at that point, your mind is now thinking, and I'm thinking the shots are in the building. I don't know if they were or not. I don't know. But all I know is that at that moment, I thought that they were. And I was like, I'm going to have to fight my way, jump. I didn't know what I was going to do. Literally.
Such a bit like Broadway, I mean, busy area typically. I mean, not necessarily at this time of day on Christmas, but this is a popular area in Nashville.
Yeah, well, what I was really concerned about was the fact that it is a really, really busy area, but also it was an hour that you shouldn't be hearing stuff like that. I mean, 5 o'clock a.m. is kind of what you would call kind of downtime. So I was really concerned. I still don't know what's going on. Don't know when I'm going to get back in my house. Merry Christmas.
Did you talk to any of your neighbors or see any of them coming out? What were they saying?
They were all coming out. Everybody was bewildered. Nobody knew what was going on. There's a hostel youth hotel right next to the building that we live in. And there was a woman that came out of that one that said the cops had said something about a bomb. She said that when we were still at the building. This was 30 minutes before that explosion.
I'm broadcasting live on prison on this bombing.
The police had told her a bomb. Yeah. So
everybody was asking me what was going on earlier, so I'm excited I go live.
That bomb because one of my neighbors mentioned it.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry this happened.
Hey, life.
Remarkable description of the activities that took place on 2nd Avenue this morning. We continue to get new information that keeps coming in. 911 service now down in Clarksville. It's affecting Austin Peay State University. It is affecting Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So this outage is massive and is continuing and will be going on for a while. We're also trying to verify more information about this van. There are reports out there that it was seen a day and a half ago, maybe in the area. We're trying to verify that. The FBI, we know, is looking into that. So a lot of unanswered questions, yet new tidbits coming in. The airport is closed for outgoing flights right now because of the communications disruption. That's supposed to be solved within the next 15-20 minutes, but you should probably call ahead. If you have a flight out today, this delay could cause further delays with departures if you're planning to leave Nashville from the Nashville International Airport.
And if you or someone you know was displaced because of this explosion, the Red Cross is stepping in. There's going to be an emergency homeless shelter put in place as well. At 5 o'clock, we should hear from the mayor that will have more information about that. We hear that transit system will be helping to try to make sure that people get to where they need to be as far as those shelters are concerned. But Maya Owens has been out there all morning for us. And what are you seeing now? You're kind of right there in the thick of it, not too far from the scene.
That's exactly right, Alex. We've been out here all morning. We've kind of gotten a closer look at what's going on. And right behind me, many people have been talking about their AT&T service has been down. I know Bob had mentioned his service was down. Family member service was down. But AT&T is out here. We've seen crews out here trying to figure out some way to restore service just a little bit here. But this is where kind of the grunt of the work is happening. FBI, ATF out here investigating, trying to put together the pieces. What happened? What can they tell us? What's going on? I know, Alex, you guys are probably have a lot more details than what we have because they keep pushing media and pushing us back, blocking off all of these streets here. You can see we're on Broadway and then Commerce leading up to the courthouse. This entire area has been completely blocked off. We've been able to stand here to get a closer view and a clear picture at what happened here. I know we've been showing videos and pictures all day, just showing those moments right before the explosion. But now you can see the destruction, the aftermath that has been left in its place here. Many questions, a lot of questions that we're all wondering here, even at home, and very little information right now. They are telling us some things, but so far, I think most people want to know why. Why now? Why on Christmas Day? Why here? I know you guys had mentioned this is pretty much the entertainment hub right here in downtown Nashville. And I even spoke to someone earlier today who said she was just traveling through here on her way to Florida. I heard Nashville was a great city, which it is. I love this city. I grew up here, but never expected that something like this would happen. I don't think anybody could have expected something like this to happen. And so right now, we're just looking at the brunt of the work as the Metro Police, federal investigators are on the scene trying to piece together what exactly happened here. You can still kind of see remnants on the ground, large pieces of debris. The RV that we keep talking about was on the left side of this street here. So again, that's where you're seeing many people down there just trying to locate and figure out what's exactly happening and kind of put together these pieces, Alex.
Hi, so thank you so much. You're giving us a great perspective with this shot. Bob and I just got close to the monitor so we could kind of walk you through what we're seeing. We definitely have people here working on sewer, but we looked at the center right portion of your screen. You can clearly see how cold it is out there because when they've tried to put out that fire, everything has frozen over. FBI right there in the center of your screen. Bob, you saw something too as well, you said.
Yes, an ATF officer, and you could see the one of the vehicles burned is on the left there, the shell of the vehicle on the left. This is obviously the epicenter of the blast zone. You see that rescue chair there from the police department in case they needed to evacuate anybody. They did not use our fire department, rather. They did not need to do that. But, well, Maya was talking about the media being pushed back. Part of that is because they are going block by block to make sure there is nothing else of danger. They're securing. It's a massive scene. And so they want to secure the area as they leave from the center of the blast zone outward to make sure it's safe. So eventually those areas will be cleared and we'll probably get a little bit closer, but they're still doing that work.
And you know what's unbelievable too is then they almost have to piece it back together, right? You go to your farthest evidence found,
yes,
and then try to figure out how it all came to where it was. So they have incredible work ahead of them, and the question will be, how long is it going to take them to be able to put all this back together?
And the blast experts will look at all kinds of protocols. Was this designed to go out? Was it designed to go down? Was it designed to go up? Looking at the video, it looks like it was designed to go up. Was it designed to kill people? Did it have nails or marbles or pieces of shrapnel? Or was it just explosives? All those will be clues as to the intent of this bomb.
And you can see it here. Something does project through the air, and then we see the big plume of smoke to follow. It is really
How tall that is.
An incredible view through the area, and hearing that rattle those cameras too, just the massive sound. I can imagine the fear of those in the area that maybe weren't awoken prior to as to what they thought they would find when they walked outside on the Christmas morning.
6:30 this morning, theirs was the shot that went up in the air. We didn't know what that was, and then here comes the plume from the explosion that was heard away as far as Mount Juliet. We know it went that far. We're getting reports from other areas of downtown. People heard it. Windows were shaken. This was a massive explosion, a huge explosion. This is pretty much what the scene looked like after the blast, and once authorities got on scene and tried to secure the area to make sure there was no more explosions. They had fires to put out. They had to go through damaged buildings to make sure everybody inside was out. They did a remarkable job of moving people out 15, 20 minutes before this explosion happened. Because of the gunfire that was there, they raced to the scene, and then we're hearing the recording or live voicing of a message that there was an explosive in the area and to leave, and the police officers evacuated those buildings, went through the buildings, and got people out.
And there's been some question as to whether or not this was any type of a suicide attempt, a suicide bombing attempt. And the last we heard from Don Aaron with Metro Police, he had said that no body had been found. They weren't at least releasing that to us at this time. So although that RV, it appears as though someone is in the driver's seat, clearly they're driving that vehicle. At 1:22 in the morning, it was captured on surveillance video. We do not have word on whether or not that person is a suspect, if they were there at the time, or anything more about that.
Some more of the video from this morning, just a scene of chaos that Metro Police were quickly to cordon off the scene to keep as many people safe as possible. They did a tremendous job early this morning of blocking that location off to make sure that no one else was injured, that they didn't get into the scene. Fire crews did a really remarkable job of saving a lot of those buildings. The fire that was in some of them was put out quickly. It's amazing more weren't burned.
Yeah, guys, sorry I can't go downtown. They're asking everybody to not go downtown. So I'm trying to get y'all this sent out through live TV. I've never done this before, so I don't know how this will work, but at least y'all get an idea of what's going on here. I've had a lot of people message me. A few auditors messaged me and asked me what's going on, so I decided I'd go live and send y'all what y'all can see, even though I'm not on the scene.
Before all the investigators get here from the FBI and the ATF, some are on scene, but more are coming from the federal government. And you can see the size of just this one shot that you're looking at on what we're looking at here in studio. You can see the fire here before it was put out. The bomb scene, the epicenter, is so huge it's going to take a while for the folks to just clear that area.
And I think, too, we're thinking about what the FBI is trying to do at this time. They're asking anyone, if you have seen something where you think that maybe you saw something suspicious, do not hesitate. Make sure you call 1-800-CALL-FBI with any information. They're trying to piece this together. Josh Breslow has been with us all morning.
Because of Prairie Girl, they're saying there might still be active explosions out.
All right, so we're actually getting some statements in from Vanderbilt University and from country star Carrie Underwood, who is a Nashville native. We love Carrie Underwood here. She just tweeted out thanking the first responders who responded to that explosion. She says here, "Merry Christmas, everyone. A huge thank you to all the brave first responders in Nashville this morning." We also just got a copy of Vanderbilt University. Their chancellor and vice chancellor just put out a message that they shared with the university a short time ago. They say, "Dear Vanderbilt community, as you've likely seen on the news, at approximately 6:30 this morning, an explosion occurred in the downtown Nashville area around the intersection of 2nd Avenue North and Commerce. The Vanderbilt University campus has not been impacted as a result of the incident, but we continue to monitor that situation closely and are checking on faculty, staff, and students, including those off-campus students who may actually live over in some of those apartments there." So far this morning, no reports of anyone from Vanderbilt being affected, but they're asking anyone who may have been affected there, if you are a Vanderbilt student, to call Vanderbilt University Public Safety, so they will, of course, provide any information to help you out there. Some people going to that shelter that we talked about over there in Nashville if they're displaced from their home. So Vanderbilt just asking any students who may have been displaced to give them a call. Guys.
And Josh, you mentioned something earlier when I was driving in, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember you saying the address 700 Westwood Ave. If someone needed help or if they were displaced, if you have that information for anyone that may be...
Yeah, let me pull that up right here, right now.
Okay, because I know that the Red Cross has been stepping in as well. It is incredibly cold out there as people are trying to not only navigate where they are, if their building was affected, but those that are in the area that may be homeless and need a shelter where they can go. And we can always come back. I know I threw that at you. You have so much going through your mind. You've been here for hours and hours.
So let me actually pull this up right here because we do have the actual address. I want to make sure that we do give that to people. It is 700 Woodland Street.
Woodland Street.
It's known as East Park Community Center, and all this information is also part of our extended coverage on our website, WKRN.com. So we have made sure to post that address there. But it's East Park Community Center, and that address is 700 Woodland Street.
Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories.
All right, Josh, thanks so much for getting that so quickly.
The internet outage continues to grow because of the extent and because of the usage of AT&T's internet. It has grown in that ADT security systems, they are provided by AT&T. So if you have an ADT security system, your system is down right now. So if you're away from home for Christmas, you might want to check on your home because this system is down and going to be down for a while. And it looks like we continue to hear more police stations that their 911 lines are down. Local internet is down in Smyrna, in Rutherford County. It's down in Williamson County. So a lot of people with AT&T service are going to be out for a while.
Sure, and we also have been showing you that communications building. There's a blast hole in the side of it, and of course we know that it was fortified. It is supposed to be bomb-proof, and granted, that may have actually helped the fact that it didn't crumble.
That's the building that's supposed to be bomb-proof.
At the bottom of your screen, there is a blast hole where that RV was parked, and also the windows all the way up are blown out. There's also debris on the rooftop there. So this is the building that's the hub, as you were saying, Bob, to a lot of the southeast region. Used to be the old Bell South area.
Yeah, it was the headquarters for the Bell South before the AT&T tower was built. So this is where all of Bell South was located, and it still uses this communications aspect for AT&T. The tower itself is. Let's go back to News 2's Josh Breslow at the Alert Desk.
That's right. So the Nashville Visitors Convention, or Nashville Convention and Visitors Corps, just releasing a statement here saying that they have offered a $10,000 reward here for information in this case. Obviously, we're talking about a very active case, so we don't know if that reward will necessarily be necessary, but they said they are going to contribute that $10,000 reward. They contacted Metro Police and the Nashville Fire Department after learning of what happened earlier on this morning. They say they wanted to provide any assistance they can, and they call it #NashvilleStrong. They are also saying that if any of their member businesses do want to contribute, you can respond to their email and let them know, give them a call, and you can add to that reward fund. Again, it's not clear yet if that reward fund is going to be necessary, but they have offered to contribute a $10,000 reward. We're talking about the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corps. We're about to post this on our website at WKRN.com. Guys.
The Nashville Visitors Corps, the country music industry, we heard from Carrie Underwood. Well, I guarantee you we will see more tweets from different country stars who call Nashville home. These people all came together during the flood. They come together during tornadoes. They're part of this community, and they don't want this to happen in their hometown either.
Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off. I'll come back if they have any breaking news. News Now, Preston signing off.
Coming to the area because of COVID, so this really is, I should say, 1, 2, 3 punch. 2, if you think about the tornado that we've had to experience as well. So much going on for Nashvillians here that this is the time that I hope that we'll see everyone come together and try to make sure that we see whoever is responsible, face the consequences.